To other news, let's go now to the United States, where Democrat senators are calling for the appointment of a special prosecutor to investigate Russia's ties to the Trump campaign. President Donald Trump sent shockwaves through Washington when he sacked his FBI director James Comey yesterday. Democrat senators say they won't support the appointment of a new director unless the president agrees to an independent inquiry. US media are speculating that Donald Trump could move to appoint a political ally to the job, as Anne Barker reports.
As Washington's political establishment tries to make sense of the sacking, it's now emerged that days before he was fired, James Comey had asked for a significant increase in resources for the FBI's investigation into alleged Russian interference in last year's US election. One Democrat, Richard Durbin, has told US media the request was made to the new Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, the same man who on Tuesday wrote to President Trump recommending the FBI boss be sacked, though one White House spokeswoman, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, rejects suggestions of a link.
The bottom line is any investigation that was happening on Monday is still happening today. That hasn't changed, and in fact, we encourage them to complete this investigation so we can put it behind us and we can continue to see exactly what we've been saying for nearly a year. There's no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, and we'd love for that to be completed so that we can all move on and focus on the things that, frankly, I think most of Americans are concerned with.
The White House insists Donald Trump had considered sacking James Comey from the day he became president for the way Mr. Comey had handled last year's inquiry into Hillary Clinton's emails. Democrats question if that was the case, why was he sacked only now? Democrat senators, including Ron Wyden, are now demanding James Comey give evidence about the status of the Russia investigation.
I've made it very clear that I think Mr. Comey should be in front of an open hearing before the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence as soon as possible to discuss matters relating to the relationship between the Russians and the Trump campaign, the Trump organization, the president himself.
Senator Wyden has also questioned the conduct of US Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who, like his deputy, wrote his own letter to Donald Trump calling for James Comey's sacking. Yet Mr. Sessions in March had to recuse himself from the FBI investigation when it was revealed he'd twice had contact with Russia's ambassador to the US during last year's campaign. He'd failed to divulge this to a Senate committee.
What he has done shows a blatant disregard for his commitment to recuse himself, and in my view, raises serious questions about his fitness for office. Those are the two judgments that I have made thus far.
Donald Trump has accused Democrats of hypocrisy, given both parties have had misgivings about James Comey's performance at the FBI. He tweeted, quote, "Dems have been complaining for months and months about Director Comey. Now that he's been fired, they pretend to be aggrieved. Phony hypocrites," unquote. White House spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders has echoed the president's claims.
I think it's been an erosion of confidence. I think that Director Comey has shown over the last several months and frankly the last year a lot of missteps and mistakes, and certainly I think that, as you've seen from many of the comments from Democrat members, including Senator Schumer, they didn't think he should be there. They thought he should be gone. Frankly, I think it's startling that Democrats aren't celebrating this since they've been calling for it for so long.
Nevertheless, Democrats say they won't support the appointment of a new FBI director unless and until the Trump administration appoints an independent prosecutor to examine the Russia collusion allegations. Democrats' Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney cited the gravity of the allegations.
There is no question that under Director Comey, the FBI has been conducting a serious investigation into these matters, one that could result in criminal charges. There are now credible and published reports that grand jury subpoenas have already been issued in the FBI's Russian investigation, and that these subpoenas were even issued on the same day that Director Comey was fired.
And one Democrat, Tom Perez, says it's already clear that Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, forced to resign in February over his contacts with Russia, could face prosecution.
But I think what we're seeing here now is, they understand that Michael Flynn is going to get prosecuted. I think that's pretty clear from what we know now. And when Michael Flynn gets prosecuted, that's the first defendant involved. And then when you follow the facts to where the facts lead you, I think it's going to be pretty clear that there was collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian government to affect the results of this election.
Republicans, including House Speaker Paul Ryan, largely oppose the idea of an independent prosecutor.
First of all, we have 3 investigations going on right now. We have a House investigation by our Intelligence Committee, which is the appropriate committee to do that, I believe. And we have the Senate Intelligence Committee. You just played Richard Burr doing an investigation. And you have the FBI investigating all things Russia. So I don't think that that's a good idea. I think the Intelligence Committees are the ones that should do this.
For now, the FBI is in a state of turmoil as it waits to see who will replace James Comey as director. Democrats are demanding the next director have no political connections to Donald Trump to avoid any conflict of interest. But US media are speculating the president may do just that and appoint an ally to the job, such as Republican and former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, although he denies he's in the running.
Ann Barker with that report.